the mindset for closeout? What are the things that you should be thinking about? What are the things that you should be doing? And where do we really need to be at when it comes to successfully closing out the month? Well, today happens to be the last day of the month. And you know what? There's, 10 hours left, right? And this is a time where people are usually either running like crazy or they've already thrown in the towel. They've already decided, you know what? I'm not gonna make it. It's not gonna happen. Whatever the case may be. And so we're gonna talk about 4 specific things that I have seen over and over and over again in business that really kind of separate the men from the boys. It really determines, if you're going to be the type of person that's going to go for it and win 100% when it comes to closing out, or if maybe it's just something that you only do occasionally. Okay, so I hope you're ready. Let's get into things. So the first thing, it comes down to taking ownership of your business. Taking ownership of your business is essential. And oftentimes what happens is when people get into network marketing, we kind of think it's somebody else's business, right? Like it may be our uplines or maybe the companies or it may be somebody else. But really at the end of the day, you have to take on the spirit, the attitude, the mindset that if it's going to be, it's up to me. If it's going to be, it's up to you. If it's going to happen in your business, we have got to take ownership. So a couple of things specifically with what I mean around that is, first and foremost, you got to know your back office. Like if you plan on going to the top of your company and you're not comfortable with your back office, you don't really know how to pull reports, you really don't know what's going on with your team, you don't know how to look at numbers, that's a skill set we've got to pick up. We've got to adapt. We got to put it in the mix, because through knowing those type of things, you're going to know how to direct your team, or if you don't have a team just yet, how to attract people into your business and then help them hit their goals. So that is super duper important. The second part of that is obviously, again, knowing your team, right? Like who is in it with you? Who's ready to go to the next level? Who is, in it to win it, so to speak. And those are the people you kind of want to be joined at the hip with so that you can go out there and make things happen in the business. So that is number 1. Number 2, you want to understand that rank advancement is not the only thing that happens in closeout. Now, that may sound like really elementary, but I tell you, there are so many times where I'll see people that they maybe hit a level here and the next level in the business is like, it's so far off. It's like so far out in the future that they just really don't see how they're possibly going to get there. So, understanding that closeout is not only about rank advancing. Yes, rank advancing is kind of like the primary thing that we focus on, but closing out the month is running for a goal, any goal. I don't care if it's the first day of the month, the 15th of the month, the last day of the month, or the last 3 hours of the month. If you could understand and inspire your team to go for a goal, however big or however small. I mean, just imagine, if everybody set a goal that, on the last day of the month, they're just like, you know what? Hey, my goal is I'm going to just recruit a new person today. In the last 10 hours, or the last, so many days, I'm just going to recruit 1 new person. Or I'm going to sponsor and get somebody to be a customer and start using my product. I mean, just imagine if that's all that happened. If everyone's like, hey, I'm going for 1, literally your business would double. I mean, could you imagine? Your business would double. Now, if you're just jumping on, great to see you guys. Go ahead and drop where you are coming in from. I'm out of Houston, Texas today. I have completed my travels for the moment, and I am back here in town. And so those were the first 2. The third one is this, and it is the magic of momentum. It starts with new people. There's sometimes people that they're new in network marketing, right? Like they're just getting in, they're just getting going. And it's like, how can we kind of take on the buddy system, right? You find somebody that's your buddy. You're like, hey, let's link arms. Let's do this together, right? And so it's those new people that are going to constantly keep you invigorated, constantly keep you excited. And it's going to build the momentum as you close out. Now, if you're like my buddy Caesar and myself, we've been in a little while, right? Like I've been with my current company for almost 5 years. And so maybe you're in the same boat. Maybe you've got started, 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. It's been a little while, right? And so, how do you stay excited? If it feels like if you're always just doing closeout after closeout after closeout, it can kind of feel kind of like a job, right? Like it's the same thing day in, day out. How do you keep that fire? How do you keep that excitement? How do you actually build momentum in your closeouts? And it all momentum starts with the new people. It's interesting because I always do closeout calls. This time of the month, I'm calling people, and it's so awesome when I talk to a new person and they maybe have been in the business for, a week or a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and they are flat out fired up. There's not a day goes by where when I see someone like that in my team, that fires me up. So that is number 3. Now, number 4 is kind of the part that makes this whole thing work. Number 4 is the glue, let's call it. And here's what it is. You've got to have an attitude of expectancy. You gotta believe. You gotta think it's possible. Like, okay, I'm gonna share with you a story. So I recently came back from California, and this was a trip. It was a personal development event I went to, and I was so pumped about it, okay? I had learned about it like a year prior, and they only do it once a year, right? And so I waited this whole entire time and finally get to go. I'm super stoked. And so I'm getting everything ready to roll. The night before, what happens? I go to the gym and I work out, and I take my little wallet into my gym bag and come home and get ready, and I go. Well, I'm there at the airport. Like, we're already kind of running a little late because my husband is Latin, and we do kind of run on Latin time sometimes, which means we were cutting it really close. Now, I live like 25 minutes away. So we're there, we pull up, we're getting all ready to go from the shuttle where we park our car to where we're actually going to go to the airport. And my husband's like, hey, show me your driver's license. Do you have your ID? I'm like, oh, I don't have it. I didn't have it with me. And here we were, like, we're getting kind of like close to the wire to get there, check in, give them our bags, and get to the plane. And my ID is 25 minutes away at my house. So I was like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm like, you're gonna go get on that plane. And I'm like, I'm gonna go for my ID. Now, there was no logical way that I could possibly make that plane. Like, it just wasn't gonna happen. But I was like, hey, we're going to pray. We're going to believe that this plane is going to be late. It's going to be held up, and I'm going to just do whatever I have to do to get this done. So my husband goes, I start driving like a crazy woman to head off to my house, right? I get there, I grab the ID, I come back, and in midway through, my husband's like, hey, guess what? The plane has been delayed. The flight has been delayed. So keep going, keep hurrying. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this plane, right? So I get there, and we're like down to the wire. Like, the plane was delayed, but it was delayed like 25 minutes. So 25 there, 25 back, and we're talking about an hour, right? So I get there, I am running through the airport. I know I have this huge bag that I have to check, right? Well, there's this rule when it comes to airline stuff. Like, you cannot check your bag in unless you have like 45 minutes before you're supposed to leave. You have to be there, you have to be checked in 45 minutes before you're supposed to leave. Otherwise, they're not going to take your bag anymore, right? So I get there, and I'm like, okay, shoot, I have this huge rolly bag that I need to check. There's no way they're going to check it. The flight is supposed to leave in like 8 minutes or something crazy. And I'm like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I started pulling everything out of the bag. I'm like, I'm trashing this bag. I'm going to take whatever I can take. I had a backpack with me, so I shove it all in the backpack, shove it all in the purse. I get to security, line in security. You know what I'm talking about, right? They're like, take off your shoes, drink your water, pull out your laptop, all of that. And I'm like thinking, I'm not going to make it unless I cut. So I'm like, hey, can I go in front? Hey, can I go in front? Hey, can I go in front? I asked probably like 10 or 12 people, can I go in front? And you know what? They did. They said, yes, go ahead. So I get through there. Luckily, they didn't flag me. And I'm running looking like a crazy person. I don't care. You know, when you're in pursuit of your dreams, when you're in pursuit of your goals, you don't really care if you don't really care how you look. So I'm running to the plane, right? I get to the plane, or the spot where they're supposed to be checking us in to go on the plane. Nobody is there. The plane is sitting out there. The airport area is empty. I'm looking around. Oh, the plane's there, but I can't get on it. And so I'm there, and my husband calls me. He's inside. He's like, they're going to go let you in. They're going to go let you in. So I'm there banging on the door. And you know, this is like unheard of. If you've ever traveled, I have traveled, I don't even know how many times. I'm probably one of like the thousands of mile members. They do not open the plane door. Like that's just not done. Like once the boarding door is shut, you're done. Somehow my husband convinced the people inside to open the door. I come running in, they let me in, and then we close the door and we take off. But what was that all about? What was that long drawn out story about boarding the plane about? It was about an attitude of expectancy. I decided when I was there, I'm like, hey, you know what? I don't know how this is all going to work out. I'm just going to have to trust. I'm just going to have to believe. But here's what we're going to do. Number one, when you want to close out, when you want to have success in your business, when you want to go to the next level, when you want to see people rank advance, first and foremost, you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision. You got to decide. You got to say, you know what? I don't know all the details, but I'm going to go for it. So I don't know if you've ever been in a spot like that in your business where you're like, you knew, like if you were going to make it happen, if you were going to rank advance, if you were going to help somebody in your team promote, you had to make a decision. So we had to make a decision. The second thing we did is we prayed. We're like, hey God, please make it work out. Get me on this plane. And then the last part is we took massive, massive action. Whoop, to the house, got the ID, came back. And you know what? That's what you have to do when building your business. You may not have all of the details. You may not have all of the plans. You may not have all the how-tos, but if the dream is big enough, you can figure out the how. You can figure out all of the little nitty-gritty details. You can figure out everything else. Now, one disclaimer here. Am I telling you that like I have some special magical potion that you can sprinkle on your goal board and you're going to automatically promote, or somebody in your team is going to? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that if you do want to promote, if you do want to help your team go to the next level, if you do want to have success, you're going to have these things first, right? Like it's not going to happen without these things. So that's really the mindset for closing out the month. That's how we go from, yes, this is the end of the month, to having a fire in your belly when it comes to closing out. You're taking ownership. You're putting the momentum with the new people and you're helping them get going. You're locked and loaded with the team that you have, and you have decided. You got in action. You prayed for some success. You prayed for favor in the marketplace, and then you just go out there and make it happen. That is the mindset. Now, mindset is one part. What about the how-tos? What about the technicality of stuff? So let's give a couple of 1, 2, 3 tactics, right? So first and foremost, you know, there's some people that are brand new and they're just getting going, right? Like they don't have anybody in their team, but they would like to have people in their team. It all starts with, hey, let's make a list of our connections and who can we get in front of today? Who can we get in front of this afternoon? Who can we get in front of tonight? You know, what's amazing is that when you have a sense of urgency in your voice, and when you have just a little get up and go, sometimes people you're like thinking, oh, we'll have to meet next week, or we'll have to meet later on, or we'll have to meet like sometime out there in the future. Like it all comes together, but it starts with you kind of getting in the motion, getting in gear. If you are a team leader, then what I would be doing at this very moment, once we finish, get off of here, pull up your back office, see who your runners are, look at your numbers. Where are the people in your team at? Sometimes you have people that are so new, they're so green, they just don't know, right? They don't know that they're close to hitting the next level, or they don't know that there's a special promotion going on with a company. There's a bonus pool they could get in, right? They just don't know. And so reaching out and calling those people, whether it's 5 people, 10 people, 50 people, whatever, you know, dial for dollars, let them know, hey, this is what I think we can do. Even if you as the leader just issue the challenge and say, hey, you know what? We're coming into closeout. Who can you bring in the next 24 hours? Who can you bring in by the end of tonight, right? Who can you get started that could either become a customer or become a business partner, right? If we just did that with one person and everybody said, hey, you know what? Count me in. Let's do this. Literally the business would double. I mean, it's crazy, right? That's all it really takes. Now, what can those people be doing so that they can connect with some people and they can recruit? Well, first and foremost, follow-up is key, right? How many people have we talked to in the last couple of weeks or in the last couple of months? Sometimes there's people that fall through the cracks. It just happens from time to time, right? So who can we follow up with that's maybe in our phone, or maybe it was on Facebook, or maybe we text them that it's time to circle back around. Maybe you showed them the plan, or maybe they just expressed an interest. That's your recent sphere of follow-ups. Then what about for people like maybe yourself and myself, we've been in the business for a little while, right? What about people from 3 months ago or 6 months ago or a year ago? Timing is everything. Have you ever had somebody say to you, I love it. It looks great. Love the business, love the products. Love it. Love it. Love it. Looks awesome. But you know what? Timing's not right. Hey, I'm planning my daughter's wedding, or hey, we're about to take a vacation, or hey, whatever. So timing is important. And you know what? You as the master of follow-up, or the people in your team, you training and leading your team, hey, follow up with those people. Now, how do we follow up without being like weird? Like I know when we think of following up, we're like, hey, what's going on? You ready to get started? No, that's not the first thing that we say out of our mouth. The first thing that we want to do is we want to just reconnect. What's going on? How is everything? How was the vacation? How did the wedding go? Whatever, just reconnect. Obviously, that person, if they're a normal human being, they're going to ask you, so what's going on with you? What's going on with you, Chris? What's going on with you, David? They're going to ask what's going on your end. And that gives you an opportunity to tell them, right? So following up. Now, another thing that's important that I think a lot of people leave on the table is customer upgrades. What do I mean by that? Well, if you are in a product-based company, a lot of times people may love everything you show them. They may be like all in for the idea, but they feel that, for them to do business with honor and integrity, they would really need to try it first. You know what I'm talking about? Do you have anybody that wants to try it before they want to promote it? I certainly have. And so what do? We get those people started as customers, right? Or we give them some product, and then the hopes are later on that they're going to be ready to join the business. So think about, who do you have that's currently a customer, or maybe in your team, who do they have that's currently a customer that maybe we should circle back around with them? Maybe they've had their product now for 30 days or 60 days or a couple of weeks. And you're like, hey, how you feeling? How's that energy? How you sleeping? You ask them the kind of things that they should notice by taking your product, right? And see if they're ready to roll, because you can use those extra points to get to the finish line. Last minute parties, last minute one-on-ones, last minute videos, people viewing the video, that's really what this is all about. So, take the mindset we talked about, take the details of how to we talked about, and let's go out there and let's close out strong. If you become the master of closeout, everything can change in your business. I've seen people that get involved in network marketing, and they kind of like home to home, kind of just, they think that they're just going to kind of like, if they don't quit, if they just hang in there long enough, that they'll get to the finish line. It's just not reality. Okay. How you get to the finish line, how you get to the top of your company, is you create massive momentum. And think of it like this. I don't know if you've ever seen back in the day one of those old water pumps, right? Someone's there, the water's at the bottom of the well, and they come and they're pumping, and they're pumping, and they're pumping, and they're pumping. And it's through that over and over and over and over again that gets enough pressure to create the water to come out, right? And if we want to take you over the top in your business, if we want to have, a wave of momentum taking place, then we got to be on it when it comes to this closeout stuff. Because it's not just something you do every now and again. It's the strategy that builds the momentum so that you can get to the finish line. Are you with me? So if you're at a spot right now in your business where you're like, yes, I like this, I'm going to do it. When we finish, we're going to get going. We're going to talk to the people in the team, or you're going to take it on yourself to, hey, who can you get by the end of the month? Who can you bring on as a customer? Who can you bring on as a business partner, right? Then first and foremost, congratulations to you. I'm super excited for you. And if you want to go a little deeper on this subject, if you would like more on, the mindset for rank advancing and the how-tos and the details about that, then I have something extra that can help you. If you click on the link that's listed here in the description, it's the 10-step process for getting out of your own way and finally rank advancing. So that's my free gift to you. It's an extra bonus training. I know you will love it. I've had so many people go through it and give me amazing feedback. So click on that. It'll take you to a spot where you enter your email and then you'll get access to the training. So other than that, guys, it has been so great spending some time with you all. I wish you massive success on your closeout. If you have people in your team and you want them to buy into the concept of getting one additional person by the end of the month, you can tag them in the video or you can share this replay to your team. So take care, be blessed, and I will see you all next time. For more great training and to receive your free bonus training, the 10-step process for getting out of your own way and finally rank advancing, visit summerjeronimo.com.